All of you. Today we are going to start class 7th SS3 History, chapter number 7, Tribal and Nomadic Communities, part 3. So student, in the previous two video I had explained about the different tribal communities and nomadic communities, as well as I had also explained one of the famous community during the medieval period. It was Gond community, and in that Gond community we had also read about the Gad Katanga and the ruler of there. In this video, we will learn about the another tribal community who came from another part of the world, and they resided in India as a tribal community. So how they had adopted themselves, how they had changed themselves, that we will see in this video. So the Ahoms, particularly, they claim their descents from Tyson dynasty of China and Southeast Asia. So it's about they were from the part of the China, and they moved toward the Southeast Asia, probably Myanmar, and then came to again in Assam. They crossed the Patkai Hills in the northeast and settled down in the Brahmaputra Valley in 13th century. So during the 13th century, they crossed the Patkai Hills and they settled down in the northeast state of the India, near the Brahmaputra Valley River, Brahmaputra River Valley, and it is said that it was established by Shukfa. Shukfa is he was probably a leader who came here and resided. He befriended the local tribes, groups like Nagas, Borahis, uh, Mataks, these kind of tribal communities which were living near the northeast states, and he um, fought with them and suppressed them and make his own lead over there. After suppressing all them, and he established his kingdom at Charai Dev as its he made the Charai Dev as his capital, and he also not only suppressed, he not also only fought with them, he also done several matrimonial alliances, and with the help of matrimonial alliances, he came to uh, get the mix with the tribal communities, those who were residing over there. So in their first generation, they were from the Chinese community, means they were from the Tai Ahoms and Tai Shan basically. And when they mix over here, they started living and residing over there, and they mix with the local people, and they started the new dynasty, we can say, or the tribal community. That tribal community considered as a Ahom. So that Tyson become a home when they started residing into the Indian subcontinent. There you can see the picture of Sukfa, and he was there for he was considered as a ruler, he was considered as establisher who established the Ahom dynasty in Indian subcontinent. The area what he occupied, it considered as Assam or Assam. Now you can see the picture, the green part of the Assam, or we can say the land surfaces, you can see the greener part. It is this is the territory in which the Ahom kingdom survive or the reside. It's about 600 years, it's 6th century, where this tribal communities resided over in a particular area. The Ahoms under the kingship of Sohangmang in from 1497 to 1539 annexed the neighboring Chotias kingdom in 1523, and by Nar Narayan Koch Hazo in 1581. So they do not only uh, stable at their own place, they also move towards the western part of the Indian subcontinent. So in the continuity of that, they also conquered several neighboring kingdoms to expand their empire and get more territory from there. The king and the other high officials patronize Hinduism. The one thing that you have to also understand, that the Sohangmang was the ruler who always been known for promoting the Hindu religion, because Taishan dynasty or the Taishan people, those who came from China basically, they don't have any kind of religion, but when they came to India, they adopted the Hindu religion and they promoted the Hinduism, especially Suhang Mang. And Suhang Mang, why his name is mentioned? Because he adopted the Hindu name of Swargnarayan. So, after him, the Hindus become very popular among the Ahoms, and they started practicing the Hinduism culture, but they did the tribal practices which they had brought from there. They insisted what they have brought, that practices they did not forget. Means they already continuing those customs, those culture along with the Hinduism what they had adopted into the residing period of their Indian subcontinent. Rudra Singha in 1696 to 1714, an important Ahom ruler, compiled the Ahom chronicles and fostered trade with the Tibet and built city of Rangpur. Rudra Singha, he was considered as an important ruler because he was the person who compiled all of the Ahom chronicles. What is the meaning of chronicles? Chronicles is a written form which is kept on the which is wrote on the bark of trees, leaves, skin of animals earlier time. So those were get compiled, but when the paper introduced, when they started using ink and all, so these kind of chronicles which were written by their previous ancestor, that all of the chronicles he compiled and give it as a shape. He also fostered trade with the Tibet and the trade is very important for any kingdom. You know very well the trade is very important. Because of the trade, they get the taxes, they get the connectivity from the other part of the area. So he basically improved the trade relation with the other countries like Tibet. He also built the city of Rangpur. There you can see in the picture, in the map of Assam, below the red line, that is Ahom kingdom, it is written. Rangpur is also mentioned. So this city was built by the Rudra Singha in 16, that his rule was there for 1696 to 1714. So this is the introduction which is related to the Ahom kingdom. Now let us see how the administration is done in the Ahom kingdom. First, the Ahom followed the centralized system of administration. So centralized system of administration means the main king will be the head of the whole management or the whole empire. The Ahom kings were called Swargdevs, means they are considered as a lord of heavens, means that they are the head of they are the god of the heaven. The Ahom followed a fairly democratic system of monarchy. Here two words is mentioned. First one is democratic and another one is monarchy. So democratic means the people can choose. Democratic means the people can choose, and monarchy means the king. So basically the king which is chosen by the people, that kind of democracy is followed by the Ahom tribal communities, and the king was appointed by the approval of Patra Mantris or the Council of Minister. So when the Council of Minister approve him, then only the king will be the ruler of the Ahom dynasty. The Ahom kingdom was divided into province and headed by Bharpakhans or governor. So basically, as you have already read different kind of administration, like where the whole kingdom was divided into province, then Pargana, then other parts were divided. Likewise only the Ahom kingdom is divided into province, and that province is headed by the Bharpakhans. And then Bharpakhans, or the provinces were divided into several khels. The khels were a cluster of villages. khels were the cluster of villages, the group of villages. Now you have to also understand one of the important system that is followed by the Ahom rulers. That was a pack system. What is pack system basically? Pack system is a system where every male member of village between the age of 15 to 50 years was they were asked to serve the king, and those person will not be the part of this. That person will not be noble, means they cannot be from the nobility group. That person cannot be the priest. The person cannot from the high caste, and the person cannot be slave. So exempting these four classes, rest people were the part of pack system. So male member, basically the village's male member up to age of 15 to 50, they were the system of the pack system basically. So they were selected, they were trained, and then they give the protection to the ruler, so that the kingdoms can be protected by them. They do not only protect the kingdom, they also do a several public welfare works so that they can help to the kingdom. The pack system was on the rotation basis. The pack system did not become the hereditary, means that the pack system is depend upon the number of depend on the age number and the number of the families, number of the people, those who are residing in a village. So pack system is made for the convenience of the king, for the protection purpose. Each village was expected to send the certain number of packs who would work for the state on the rotation basis. So rotation basis means the packs or the group of people will serve once at a time for a certain amount of time, and then uh, they have to leave, and the next pack or the group of people will serve the nation. Instead of giving salary in cash, they provide them 2 acre land for a particular group of pack. They were provided with the 2 acre land. That land is useful. That land is very useful for them to cultivate, to grow crops, and after that they can earn money by growing crops, or by keeping it as a taxes. So that is the kind of salary which is given by the Ahom rulers. That land is not transferable, and that land is not hereditary, means that if land is belongs to a particular group of pack people, but after when they leave, when their duty is over, the land goes to the next group of people, those who came to serve the Ahom ruler. Here, one thing you have to also understand: the Ahoms used to follow this kind of army system. They do not have the standing army. Standing army means nowadays we are seeing air force, navy, and army is also there. So what they do, they were fixed. They have the fixed work to do. They are fixed. They got the sufficient of amount of salary, and the duty hour is fixed. But in the pack system it is not like that. So until they had started the standing army system, the pack system worked for them. Relationship with the Mughals. So basically relationship with its Mughal was not good, because Mughals wanted to expand their empire. So in the continuity of expanding their empire, they had also in the previous topic you have read about the Khans, where the Akbar sent his army to expand his empire. So likewise here also the several Mughals were wanted to capture the Ahom kingdom, and so they send their military campaign over there to cover, or to to win over the Ahom's kingdom. So there were several battles that was with the Mughal empire, and when it's for the purpose of the expanding of the frontier. So homes uh, were get defeated, means they had fought several times, but they defeated the Mughals. They do not uh, give the chance, make this space to cover by the Mughals. But in year 1662, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb sent Mir Jumla, the Mughal viceroy, and he was the viceroy of Bengal, to attack the Gadgaon. And in that attack, during the rule of Jayadhwaj Singh, he was get defeated by the Mughal emperor, that is the Aurangzeb, by his viceroy Mir Jumla. So why they wanted to conquer the Ahoms community or the Ahom? Because the Ahom was a full of natural resources, like there is a abounded or a large number of elephant and several aromatic plants or several natural resources were is found in the Ahom kingdom. So they wanted to capture this kingdom. So because of that only, the Aurangzeb sent his general over the general to the Ahom kingdom to fought with them. So when uh, King Jayadhwaj Singh get defeated, so they acquire the immense riches like gold, silver coins, rice, gunpowder, and gun, shields, and ships. So these were the things which were acquired by the Mughals, but due to heavy rainfall in the region, an epidemic broke out in the Mughals' camp, which enabled the Ahoms to regain the power. So, because of the heavy rainfall, because the flood came over that area, so they all were get affected through it, and because of that only, this this led to the Mir Jumla and his army to stand back and uh, to make his army to go back to the kingdom without taking any of the booty. So this gives the chance to acquire the Ahom kingdoms again by fighting against them. So they fought at the Battle of Saraighat in 1671, and Mughals were defeated by Ahoms. Later on, the kingdom of Ahoms came under the control of British during the year of 19th century. Now, the Karenghar at the Sivsagar is the best example of architectural grandeur in Assam, built by the king Ahom's dynasty by Shuk Rangpha in 1698, and it is the greatest example of the monumental architectural monument which is constructed by the Ahom kingdoms or the Ahom dynasty. So the Mughals acquired. So Mughals were also get defeated uh, because of the that flood only, and the whole control was uh, under the Ahoms kingdoms. But later on, the whole power is goes to the British in 19th century. So Battle of Sarai Ghat, which we had discussed earlier, that was fought by the Lachit Barfukan, and he was the commander in chief during that time, and he defeated the Mughals at the Battle of Sarai Ghat. Now you can see some of the representation of the commander Lachit Barfukan. Now, economy of the Ahom kingdoms. The best example of wet right cultivation was introduced by Ahoms in Upper Assam. So the upper part of the Assam was when there is a huge amount of water, when rainfall is there, when the flood is there. So the excess amount of water is present in the Ahom dynasty or Ahom kingdom. So they used to innovate the rice cultivation, and they started the wet rice cultivation. That was become the important part of the important part of the agriculture of the Ahoms dynasty. A combination of superior rice cultivation technology and a system of irrigation along with the reclamation of land using dikes and embankment helped the Ahoms to establish the initial stage structures. So basically, they had started cultivating the good quality of rice through the wet rice cultivation. Also, they had improved the irrigation facilities by establishing dikes and embankment. So dikes and embankment is made to stop the water by using stones or by making a high platform so the water cannot pass through it. So they had prepared a different dikes and embankment. By making dikes and embankment, they had improved a lot of things in the agriculture. And they also reclaimate, means they have used those lands also which were not, or we can say which were not used before so many long years. Means that the lands which was cultivated earlier and now it was not cultivated, that those lands were also they had started for the cultivation purpose. During the 16th century, the coins were introduced. The Ahom kingdoms and the kings also adopted the Mughal system of land measurement. Likewise, every every dynasty has their own coins. So the Ahom kingdoms have their own coins as well. Now you can see some of the gold and silver coins, and they had also adopted the land measurement system which were adopted by the Mughals. So what the Mughal rulers have adopted, the measurement system, that they had also adopted same kind of measurement system for the purpose of measuring something, the distance or other one. The society of the home was divided into 7 main clans, that is Khels, or known as Satgadiya Ahoms. So this is the division. So division is on the basis of the royal family. The first part of the out of 7 was royal family, and the second one is the nobility, the ministers and all. The third one is divided into 4, that is the 4 priestly group, and the remaining people came under the pack system. So the last and the 7th one was the pack system, and before that the number third, fourth, and the fifth and sixth, basically all were the part of the priestly groups, and that all comprising which makes the Satgadiya or the Ahoms of 7 houses. There were few very caste of artisans. So it is important thing that you have to understand that during the time there were very few people, those who were artisans. Artisans means those who used to make the artifacts. uh, so the number of people in the Ahom kingdoms, it was less, but artisans in the Ahom areas came from the adjoining kingdoms. Means the main the artisans came from the another part of the area as well. And a khel often controlled the several villages. Okay, now here khel, as I said, the whole kingdom is divided into provinces, and provinces is divided into khel. And khel is a cluster of several villages, and the peasants was given the land by his village community. Okay, now you have to understand, first of all, the province is divided into khel, and khel is a group of villages. Now in every villages, wherever the peasant is there, the peasants get their land by his village community. So land is, it's not hereditary. Land was become the group of, it's become the public property. So land is distributed among the people, those who can produce something from it. If the people is not producing, the land can be shipped or the switch to the another one. So this is dependable upon the village community, and even the king could not take it away without the community's consent. So whatever the community says, on that basis only the land is transferable to the another person if the person is not working well. So it is totally dependent, it is totally set, it is totally like the democratic what we had studied. It is a democratic monarchical system. So here the democracy works. So without the village community, the land cannot be transferred or exchanged from the peasant which was given by the village community. The nobility and the priest were exempted from the paying taxes, means they were not allowed to pay the taxes. Okay, now you can see some of address of the home kingdoms. The same, you can see the long pant and shirt type is there, and the women wear the dhoti. They also wore some of kurta and another several dresses, several cloths are the part of the homes society. One of the greatest contribution of the Ahom was the custom of compiling chronicles. So, as you have already read about the Rudra Singha, he compiled all of the chronicles, all of the chronicles of the Ahom kingdoms, which was first written in Ahom language and subsequently both in Assamese and Ahom. So basically, the language has changed. The means the chronicle which was written in Ahom language, that was translated into Assamese, so that the Assamese people can also learn, and the Ahom Assamese language knowing people can also read, and the Ahom language knowing people also can read. All the political transactions were recorded in chronicles or baranjis and were mostly compiled under the officials. So officials, the rulers had decided several officials or the officers that had the responsibility of the taking the record of the political transaction, means who the changes which were seen in the political changes which were seen in the Ahom kingdoms, that changes were written by the uh, assigned official by the Ahom rulers. Lexicon from Assamese to Ahom and vice versa were also compiled. So what is lexicon? It's a vocabulary list, means it's a kind of dictionary. You have already seen that you have might have been the dictionary which creates which gives you the English, Hindi meaning of any English word, and any an English meaning of Hindi words. So this is a lexicon, means that the one language can be transferred or the translate into the another language. That kind of work is also done during the medieval period by the Ahom kingdoms. Many Sanskrit works were also translated into local languages. So whatsoever the Sanskrit texts, whatsoever the Sanskrit literature was there during that time, those Sanskrit texts were also converted into the local languages, which were the part of the Assamese culture or the Ahom culture. Ahoms were also encouraged theatre. They had left deep and indelible imprints on the Assamese society during the 6th century of their rule. So they always been encouraged the theatre. Theatre means the drama and all, so that they can perform their activity. So this was the part of the Ahom kingdoms, and that all gives the uh, good impression of the Ahom rulers during the rule of 6th centuries. So this is the probably one of the famous or the longest ruled dynasty into the Indian subcontinent, which was ruled for almost 600 years, and they've become the part of the Indian subcontinent. They started adopting the culture. They started adopting the Hinduism. They had also starting worshipping the Hindu goddess and goddesses. So these were the part of the Hindu. These were the part of the Assam and Ahom rulers, those who came from outside and they resided in the Indian subcontinent. Caste versus tribe. The Vern system was okay. You know very well about the Vern system. What is Vern system? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. So these were the backbones of medieval Indian history. So during the medieval period, the Varna system was very popular, and Brahmins were at the head during the medieval period and the ancient period also. in the northern and southern Indian society. Both places were dominated by the Brahmin community. They get the more privileges than the others. Means they are not allowed to pay the taxes. They were also granted the land free lands called Brahmade or Agrahara by the rulers. So Brahmade means the land which is given to the poor priest, or we can say the Brahmins, by the royal families or the rulers of that particular region. The king expected the Brahmins to legitimize their rule in return. So Brahmins were forced to make the good impression of the rulers, which provided them a Brahmade or the Agrahara. Merchants and traders enjoyed the economic power. Their caste and social status varied from region to region. So merchants and traders were they have their different kind of economic status. Some were rich, some were poor, some have accordingly their topography. There is a changes in between the merchants and traders, those who were part of the Vaishyas community. However, the disabilities of lower caste increased substantially. So lower castes were always been deprived from the mainstream, and they considered as untouchables basically. And out of four original Varnas, there are many new castes sprang up, and ideas of untouchability was increased and become rigid. So during the time of medieval period, not only the Shudras were there, the people left the tribal communities or tribal groups, when they started coming towards the mainstream, so they become the some of them become Rajputs, those who took the title of Rajput. Some were become they had created their own jatis, they had created their own caste, and they started living with the common people, or either they can become the part of the lower caste. Some of them were become the part of the Muslim religion, because Muslim religion has no caste system, so that they had decided to follow the Muslim religion, not the Hindu religion. So this is the caste based society during that time. The tribal and nomadic communities who did not adhere to the Varna system at times came to conflict with the caste based society. So basically, those who do not follow any kind of caste, and they started living with the common people or the mainstream. So there is a several conflict, that on what basis they were divided, on what basis, on what religion they are divided. So there is a several conflict between the caste based society and the tribal communities who wanted to become the part of the stream of society. The tribal depended upon each other for the fulfillment of certain needs, and especially economic needs. So they do not need anyone else to dependent upon. The tribal custom and rituals are observed into Hindu religion's tradition. So basically, the all the custom and rituals were almost part of the Hindu culture and Hindu religious tradition. During the later medieval period, many tribes adopted a caste system and political formation prevalent in the settled and agricultural society. So the tribal community which were living in the jungles or moving from one place to another, they started residing at a place, or they become the part of the mainstream. They accommodated as jati within the overcoming Varna hierarchy. So if we count as a Varna hierarchy, means whether they are the part of the Kshatriyas or Shudras or Vaishyas or Brahmins, so they considered as jati because they had created their own jati, or section of group, section of caste, and on that basis they were considered as jati. The tribal claimed the Rajput status, while majority joined the rank of the lower jati. So as I said, some tribal community, those who adopted the name, the Rajput names, they become the Rajputs, and some of them though become the join the lower caste, so become the lower jatis. As I said, some of people like the tribal community, they who were the part of Punjab, Sindh, and northwest frontier regions, they adopted the Islam because Islam avoided the reject the caste system. So because of that only, they had adopted the Muslim religion. Today, the Constitution of India refer to the tribal and ethnic groups as a scheduled tribes. So, the tribal groups or the ethnic groups which are living in the Indian subcontinent, they are considered as scheduled tribe. They are recognized as a historically disadvantaged group who were also known as depressed class by the British. So, during the British rule, the tribal communities were considered as depressed class, and they were not allowed to be the part of the mainstream. The founding father of our constitution understand the importance of these Adivasis group in Indian society. Thus, they took measures such as reservation in jobs and educational institution, as well as scholarship to them. And they were also meant to protect the rights of these groups and integrate them into the modern Indian society. So it's a duty of constitution, and the people, those who are the guardians of the constitution, they were they were asked to protect these people from getting discriminate on the basis of their caste, or on the basis of their caste. So this is the thing that we have to understand. Now the chapter is over, and now what you have to do, you have to write about uh, the society the society of the Ahom kingdoms in your home in your classroom copy. Thank you, students.